Not only did he say competition is at an all-time high, he said, and just watching our guys in practice. When you have the vision of the head coach and you stand behind and you see everything going on, you watch the quarterback, you watch the line, you watch the D line, you watch the defense's eyes, you hear the communication that the defense does, and you hear the pads go, you're like, oh yeah, we're going to be good. You can feel it. You can sense it. And there's just we don't really care about what other people think. We're just ready to go. When someone says that, and then this happens, there's clearly a disconnect. And we're trying to piece together that disconnect, because it's one thing, Reiner, for coaches to be perhaps disingenuous with the public, but it's another to be disingenuous with yourself, neither of which seem acceptable.
Looking at what Jerome said and what's materialized, obviously it's completely different. But again, I wrote about this soon after that actual press conference, saying, that they were puffing out their chests, talking a big game, and potentially setting themselves up for failure. Because, this has been a pattern in the past when Michigan has oversold expectations and underdelivered. It happened right before the pandemic too, and all in a couple of the years predating that, where whether it was Jim Harbaugh or Don Brown or Josh Gaddis selling these false expectations and or creating false expectations and then failing to deliver. So it's a pattern that Michigan has had at its worst times, and I think we're back to seeing it now, where either they're not seeing things clearly there, or they're trying to pump up the team through the media, maybe try to inject confidence. But at the same time, again, it creates an idea when, the boy who cries wolf, where you start to not believe anything they say when you set such a narrative that is clearly false, and or just is something that you can't possibly, see in reality actually materializing. So, it is a problem, and certainly something that reduces the credibility of Sharon Moore and the rest of the staff, I think.
Yeah, and I think it goes beyond just, I don't want to just pin this on Sharon Moore, right? Clearly there was some sort of, or there seemed to be a general theme of the messaging of, like you said, confidence, and this is the messaging that we're going to maintain the standard, and the standard is the standard, and all of these things. However, I wonder how, and it doesn't matter, and I want to make it clear that it's not, the point is not about what they're saying to, it's not an individual thing about you or me and them not being honest to us. It's about, like you said, fans ever being able to believe that they can trust what the coaching staff says. And then the level of, do they even actually understand the depths to which there are issues? Because we didn't get to watch every practice, right? We didn't get to watch any of them. But I find it very hard to believe that this iteration of this offense had any level of success at any time against this defense, with the quarterbacking switches, with the wide receivers that can't get separation, with just the general dominance of the defensive line. Some of that is a credit to Michigan's own team, but there's I just don't see any way. I couldn't imagine, right? And then you have Kirk Campbell saying that they're going to be explosive as an offense. They remain the only, not just Power 4 team, FBS Division I football team in America without a 40-yard pass play. That doesn't mean 40 yards through the air like, oh yeah, we know they don't take deep shots. It means the ball has never left a quarterback's hand and anybody has gained 40 yards in 10 weeks. That's unbelievably mind-blowing.